You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
It's going great today.
Excellent, excellent. Are you all excited for today's episode of Exploring Anime with Friends?
I am 10,000% excited.
Today we'll be diving into the first season of Dr. Stone, a post-apocalyptic sci-fi released in July of 2019. First, we will meet our main character Senku and follow his journey through the apocalyptic event and the beginning of its recovery over 3,700 years later. Then we will go on as he discovers a village, starts to make some allies, and build his kingdom of science. Then we will go into discovering how he becomes the leader of the village and meet all the new and powerful allies that he has made along the way. Finally, we're going to take some time to go through some of the awesome experiments and inventions that he creates in this stone world. And remember, if you like what you're hearing today, give us that thumbs up. Check us out on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Click that like button right there.
Right there.
All right. Senku.
Senku.
Yeah. What do you got to say about Senku?
My gosh. Listen, okay. I need to get this off my chest real quick. If these kids...
You 10,000% do.
10,000% do. If these kids are high schoolers, I'm a high schooler too. This is the stuff they do is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense to me that they are that smart in high school. I don't know. I know some pretty smart kids in high school. There's always that one kid or two, there's always those kids. These guys are doing ridiculous things.
And then there's Senku.
There's Senku, yeah.
Who knows how to build everything.
Who's building rockets as a middle schooler or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's other middle schoolers that build real rockets.
I need to clarify, real rockets, not just those things that just shoo and fall down. No, he's literally trying to make rockets.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no.
But that's him in a nutshell.
Yeah, and he is doing some experiments in the lab on the day that his buddy Taiju runs into the room, and he's like, I'm going to profess my love today.
It was so cute. I'm just saying, it was really cute and, adorable. And I was like, I don't know who you are because it's the first episode, but you go get your girl.
So he rushes out to Yuzuria, and he's about to profess his love, tell her how much he's loved and appreciated her through all the years, and then green flash.
Man.
Tell us what happened.
So like you said, there's this green light that just kind of comes from everywhere, comes from nowhere. No one knows where it's coming from, but it's coming. And what happens is, as the green light does its thing, everyone turns to stone.
Yeah,
everyone
on the planet just turns to stone.
Yep.
It's done.
Society's over.
Bye-bye. Humanity's done.
The
It's
end.
gone. The end. Tune in next week. Well, I mean, yeah, no, tune in next week. But
yeah, of course.
3,700 years later, you want to tell us?
Yeah, Senku cracks out of the stone casing that's around them. You find out that they could hear everything going on, even though nothing's going on, really.
Yeah, right?
They knew what was going on, even though nothing was really going on except time passing. And somehow, some way, Senku breaks out of the stone.
Yeah, and that's going to be explained a little more in just a few moments, but he's the first one that we can tell that broke out of it. And he's been counting the seconds the whole time.
Perseverance, thy name is Senku.
3,700 years of counting the seconds. Man, this is clearly this is clearly not real life or anything like that. But this is where borderlines on fantasy had a few times. But at the same time, he just continues because he knows it's important to break out during the spring, which I'm not even 100% sure why that is. I guess it's to give him maximum time to prepare for the winter. Yeah,
that makes the most sense.
So somehow he through sheer will breaks out before the spring. But he's not the first person we watch awaken in the Stone Age.
Yes.
He's the first person who we know awakened from it. But the one that we watch awaken is Taiju.
Love Taiju.
Tell us about Taiju.
Taiju is best boy, okay? He just is. He's got a big heart. He loves his lady. And
he's a big oaf.
And he's a big, big oaf. And it's that perfect compliment to Senku. Because Senku don't have the muscle. He got the brain.
Yep.
In this world, it seems you either have one or the other. Maybe not both.
No, people have, man, every smart character is weak as Eddie.
There's only one person.
Tsukasa. Yeah,
I mean, he's smarter.
he's great with tactics.
Yes, he's great with tactics.
He's not smart like Senku or Chrome, but
I was gonna say,
he's great with tactics.
There's a chance that the older guy that ends up joining them, that does all the crafting, he's probably smart and strong.
I think his name is Kasaki.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
We're jumping too far forward right now.
I'm sorry.
We have to talk about the first couple of episodes
Fair.
that feature Senku, Taiju, and Yuzuria, and Tsukasa.
Yes.
So Taiju is roaming around after he awakens. He awakens in a cave with something dripping on him, and he just keeps on looking around, and he sees signs that Senku is directing him in a certain area. And the reunion begins. Tell us what Senku already has set up and how impressed Taiju is.
I mean, I was impressed. Heck with Taiju. He's already got okay, first things first. Everyone's naked.
Yeah, lots of butts.
Lots of butts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 3,000 plus years. Your clothes aren't going to survive that long.
Nope.
Senku has made clothing. He has kind of shoes going on. He's got a whole darn hut made. I'm pretty sure he's got spears too, and he's got like fire going, and he's got like another hut made, and just he's pretty well put together.
Yeah, he has a lot going on, and he explains to Taiju that the thing that released him was nitric acid from the bakwano that was dripping on him in the cave. And he points out all the different uses for it and how important it is to them rebuilding science in this civilization. And they're going out on a mission. They're in the forest, and suddenly they get attacked by wild animals.
Big things too.
They have enough of the fluid, the nitric acid. They have enough of it to be able to revive Taiju's girl. And they were about to take it back to her, but they realized they're going to die, and humanity's going to end all over again if they can't revive someone.
Yeah, Taiju's strong, but he's not necessarily well-trained in self-defense. And you need that because there's giant animals everywhere.
And there's like the strongest high schooler, like he was of national renown, and he is there in his stone form, and they're kind of like, you know what? We're going to revive Tsukasa. He was someone who was really famous back in their day. They pour it out on Tsukasa. He revives, he slays the wild beast, and he becomes part of the kingdom. He's learning everything that Senku is wanting to do, and Senku's learning about him. And Senku, meanwhile, is apprehensive because he doesn't know whether they awaken in a nightmare or not.
Yeah.
They later awaken Yuzuria, and Senku's going through all the great uses for the seashells and the nitric acid, and he does not mention how it works along with what he needs to mix it with in order to revive.
He basically leaves out one key thing.
And he also doesn't reveal that it can be used to make gunpowder because he doesn't trust Tsukasa. And sure enough, Tsukasa plays his hand in order to get the formula, the revival potion. Tell us about that scene.
So at this point, Senku and company, minus Tsukasa, have parted ways because Tsukasa has shown himself to be very untrustworthy. So he advances on trying to get gunpowder because that's the only thing that's going to really work against Tsukasa. He's strong, he's agile, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to fighting.
Yeah, he was able to catch a crossbow bolt.
Yeah, like, again, high schoolers. Yeah, high schoolers. So Senku, Taiju, and Yuzuria go up the mountain, and Senku knows what to look for, and they start looking for the telltale signs of what can be used to make the gunpowder. And they find it, unfortunately causing a little bit of an explosion, which, of course, now Tsukasa knows where they are.
And what they have.
Because you're right, Tsukasa is not dumb.
No, he's not.
He puts two and two together throughout the entire series that we see him. So Tsukasa makes his appearance while Taiju is away trying to find something and threatens Senku. And is like, your world of science can't exist. We're only going to bring back the people that are our age because all the older people are going to get in our way.
Because they created the wealth gap and because they polluted natural resources.
So basically he tries to get Senku to promise that he will never do science, which we've seen Senku's flashbacks. Science is his life. His whole goal is to get to the moon, to get into outer space. And yeah, he could never give that up. It's his heart. It's his passion. It's what he does. That's who he is. Tsukasa's like, okay, well, guess we don't need you then.
Yeah.
Does what would definitely be a killing blow.
With the exception of the fact that Senku relied on the fact that Taiju would realize that Senku wouldn't have sacrificed his life there. And he looks around on Senku and he sees a piece of stone after he gets the body away from Tsukasa. And we're not going to go too much more into the scene because we're already spending a lot of time on this. And there's a lot to go over.
There is.
In the first season. Like, get excited.
Get excited,
there's
guys.
There's a lot to go. But he realizes there's still some stone on the back of Senku's head, and he pours some of the liquid on it because it doesn't just unpetrify, it also regenerates. And Senku comes back. He tells the other two that they should go back to Tsukasa's kingdom and work as his spies, and he'll contact them again in the future. And Senku goes forward, seeing if he can find more allies.
He knows there's people out there. They know there's others out there because there was a fire spotted, like a campfire smoke.
And the first person he runs into is Kohaku, right after she runs into Tsukasa. And he leaves her for dead, pinned under a tree.
Great guy.
They make allies really quick because Senku, this is where the scientific stuff kicks in. He uses a pulley to lift the tree off of her.
Compound pulley, like
yeah. No, he's doing great work right off the bat. And she's watching and she knows that he can be a good ally. So she brings him back to their village. Problem is, their village isn't welcoming to strangers. So he has to set up camp outside of it. And this is where he meets Chrome.
Chrome.
Talk to us about Chrome.
Chrome's pretty good. He is a fellow man of science to the extent that that can be in this world, which is mainly like rock collecting and other things too. But like that was his big shtick.
Rock collecting,
herb
rocks. Collecting. I mean, he figures out quite a few other things as the story goes along.
Yeah.
Once Senku starts pointing him in the right direction. So they're building everything up. And Senku's like, how do I get in the favor of the chief? How do I make it to where I am welcome in his area? And it turns out that he has a daughter by the name of Rory, who is Kohaku's sister. And Kohaku, she continues to work alongside Chrome and Senku in the Kingdom of Science, even though she has no clue what's going on. They realize that she's sick. And Senku's kind of like, you know what then? We're going to make antibiotics. And I'm like, what?
High schoolers. High schoolers.
So they start building the mission with that purpose. The problem is they don't have enough people to help out. So they have to start enlisting. Talk to us about a few of the people that they start enlisting for this early portion.
So there's two guards that stand by the bridge that lead into the village. One of them, very excited about this sciencey stuff. He's very curious about it, doesn't know anything, but curious. The other, very stoic, very standoffish. Kind of a good pair. Again, it's the opposites of track field we got going on.
Definitely.
So Senku does what Senku does and ends up roping them in on a bunch of different things. Our stoic friend is a little more apprehensive and like, no, we're guarding the bridge. But the other one's much more open to doing things.
Senku, Chrome, and Kohaku keep on doing things to try to appeal to the villagers.
Yes.
And honestly, you jumped over the person I was wanting you to talk about.
Oh.
I was wanting you to mention Suika because she starts working for them first.
Oh, she's adorable.
She goes into the city. She figures out what the people want and everything. They start putting two to two together, and Senku figures out how to make ramen in this old world. And they pull up a ramen cart to outside the bridge that leads into the city, and they start to win people over. And that's ultimately what wins Kinru and Ginru over to helping out the city of science. They all let Senku know that this will all be for naught if Magma becomes the head of the village. There is a tournament that is coming up to determine who the head of the village is going to be. And that time is rapidly approaching. So Senku's kind of like, well, then we're going to have to get people ready to win that tournament. And we're going to stack the bracket against them. So a lot of different things. They're all working on that together. And man, this is really a moment to just get excited, right?
It is really a moment to get excited.
So I'm going to get excited with a little bit of refreshment. Once again, this is the Dubby. This is DUBBY.com. You can pick up this clean, no sugar added, no preservative added energy drink. I'm drinking the Hydrator today, the lemonade. I think you're drinking one of the energy drinks, right?
Yep. Like retro sherbet popsicle. It's delicious. Personally, it's my favorite one that we've had for the energy drink so far. It's really good.
So if you want to join us in that, you can actually get 10% off by using our code ExploringAnime524. That's Exploring Anime in all caps. Like, if you stuck around to this point in time, you like what you're hearing, because
hope so.
you clearly didn't stick around if you don't. So maybe hit that subscribe button, right? It's right there. You see it right below or right above where you're listening to this. Hit that subscribe, and that way you'll be able to hear us all the time. And if you like what you're hearing about Dr. Stone so far, this one you can watch basically anywhere. We've been watching it on Crunchyroll. So they're all preparing to get the antibiotic together and to get ready to fight Magma. Tell us about the tournament and the series of twists that keep on going in and out of that big tournament.
So of the group of them, Kenru's the best fighter. He was one of the bridge guards mentioned earlier. He's definitely the best fighter. I wish Chrome would have won, not gonna lie. But they try to stack it so basically Kenru starts fighting Magma at the end. They're hoping to wear Magma down. They're hoping to get him tired and maybe hurt a little bit so Kenru can take him. We don't want Magma to win because he's a big jerk.
That's why Kohaku's doing all sorts of guerrilla tactics and everything, teaching them how to fight like that and teaching them how to fight better. The big problem with that plan is twofold. The first and most obvious one is Kenru faces Magma in the first round on the luck of the draw.
That's great, isn't it? It's just what we did not want.
The second part of the problem is that Magma and his little stooge over here are friends like colluding. Let's be completely honest. They're the bad guys here in some aspects of it. Like, and they come up with their own plan. They say that they see little Suika fall into the water and that she needs to be rescued. Meanwhile, they just tie her to a tree. They know that Kohaku is the fastest person there, and if Kenru can't beat Magma, Kohaku has beaten Magma in the past. So Team Magma gets a huge win in the first round because after a long, drawn-out fight in which Kenru actually almost wins. But we won't go into the specifics.
It's pretty impressive either way.
He almost wins. Kohaku has to go out because she's the fastest person. And just in case Suika's actually in trouble, she needs to rescue Suika.
Definitely.
Her opponent is going to be Senku in the first round. And let's be honest, like, they need Kohaku to go on.
Absolutely. Senku is not the fighter.
After Kenru loses a close match to Magma, Chrome is battling Magma's little stooge. Kohaku is able to track down Suika quicker than they think, and Suika's already back at the village now, and Kohaku is racing back to the village. At this point in time, Magma sees what's going on, and he tells his little grunt to throw the match.
Throw the match. Get it over quick.
So Chrome goes on to face Magma, which is obviously an auto win for Magma with the way this is, because it's a might person versus a science person, and they're not allowed to use magic in these fights because science is magic in this world right now. Kohaku is forced to forfeit to Senku, and now the final match of the first round is happening, and it's the red shirt versus the lesser of the two guards. He pulls off his win, but at the same point in time, he actually gets to the point where he's badly beaten and bruised.
He's hurt for sure.
So it's almost like a double knockout. So Senku's basically at the finals. Magma is battling Chrome. Talk to us about Magma versus Chrome. Chrome, who loves Ruri.
Yeah.
Who the winner gets to marry.
So Magma, again, he's a jerk. He's verbally said that he's probably just going to kill Ruri because he doesn't care about her. So the whole time we are, of course, rooting for Chrome because he actually loves Ruri. And it's a crazy fight. Like, honestly, Chrome tries so hard and he does a pretty darn good job keeping up with the big muscle man that is Magma. He's doing a lot of dodging and everything. But there's one item that has just kind of been in the arena for a bit.
It keeps on being used every single round.
It really does.
I've intentionally avoided it up to this point in time, but I don't know how to talk about this fight without mentioning it.
Yeah, so do you want me to say where it came from or just...
Yeah, just say what it is.
So
Suika's glasses.
Suika has really, really bad eyesight, and she wore this melon thing that basically, because of the way the holes were, kind of helped her eyesight a little bit, let her like fine tune it. And Senku's like, you can put lenses in those, gives her actual lenses where the holes are, and she can see, and it's wonderful, and it's so cute, and I love Suika so much.
Melon glasses.
I don't know how they didn't decompose, but that's a different thing. Somehow, her glasses got in there. I'm not going to say how because I'd rather guys just watch it. It's kind of cool. Her melon glasses got in there. And Chrome knows that if you have a lens, you can make fire. So this goofiness happens where he's holding Suika's and like there's tons of sweat in it because he knew enough like the way the lens was shaped.
He had to change the lens from a concave lens to a convex lens, and he did it using his sweat.
Like, this is impressive stuff going on, and he's holding it at an angle where it could potentially set Magma's clothes on fire, and Magma's dumb as rocks. So he's just standing there because he was tricked by someone else we haven't mentioned at all.
Gen.
Yeah, Gen. He's been tricked by Gen that if he doesn't move, whatever magic is happening will just fail. So he's just standing still, basically letting the lens do its thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Gen is a mentalist who was revived by Tsukasa, and he was sent to actually find Senku, and he gets caught up in everything. And in the end, we'll talk about him in a little in the final point, because one of Senku's inventions that he brings back is the thing that wins Gen over.
It's my favorite.
So we'll talk about it.
Favorite invention.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in that aspect. But he's officially back in the picture here. He's using his mentalist power. Magma's looking for that break, that way out, because he can't actually believe that Chrome has done much better than expected.
Oh, yeah.
So he's giving that extra time and everything because he was deceived. Like,
yeah.
Frankly, that's basically what it comes down to. His clothes get set on fire. He's defeated. Like, he's done. He's sent off into the water.
Yeah.
like
it's over.
It's over.
Won.
Yeah. Chrome is going to get to marry the girl he loves because Senku's going to forfeit the finals to him.
Right? Happy feelings all around.
And then Chrome passes out from exhaustion right before Senku can forfeit.
I was so upset.
And Senku becomes the chief, the village of the chief.
Winner.
And is declared married to Ruri.
He's like, what?
He claims his reward of all of the booze and everything that's going to be passed on. And then he's like, oh, yeah, we're getting a divorce.
We're divorced now. And that's all.
He just casually divorces.
Just casually does it.
Priestess. Her father's clearly upset.
Oh, man. He's an angry person as a whole, it seems.
But they present the antibiotic.
Yep.
And they make her whole again. And as the chief of the village, who saved the former chief's daughter, and I guess his ex-wife's
like
daughter.
A priestess.
Yeah, they all eventually submit to him. Senku even wins over Magma. And we're not going to go into
it
all
takes
the
a bit, but yeah.
We're not going into all this. There are aspects of this first season that we're going to leave out because this village is clearly been around for a long time, and they didn't come from the statues. I'm not going to ruin that. I'm not going to ruin the heartfelt moments that we actually see in the end of the first season. We haven't said the village name up to this point in time, so we're not going to say the village name because the name itself has significance. What we are going to do, we're going to talk about some of the fun stuff that this village, that the Kingdom of Science has come up with, and the big thing that they're building for war with Tsukasa. Roughly the last third of the first season is devoted to building a super weapon to use in the war versus Tsukasa. What is that weapon?
Is super weapon radio/telephone.
I mean, more of a telephone than a radio, but yeah, it's working that way. So they have established a way to communicate information.
Which is huge.
In a world that has none of that, that allows you to find the weak points to attack from the right direction. As they're going towards the war in the second season, this is the thing that takes them the time through the whole winter and sets them up to be able to take on Tsukasa's Kingdom of Might. Another thing that helps set them up, they forge katanas.
So the katanas are really awesome because it's folded steel. So they're super, super light and super, super sharp.
Yeah.
And I mean, you need things like that when you're actually like going at war with someone. You need things that are lighter, especially during that age that they're in where there's nothing you can really do besides try to make things lighter and easier to carry and stuff.
And you're wondering how they make all this. It's because they've found a way to develop the test tubes. They found a way to create the
glass.
Kiln. They're doing things with glass. They've fabricated forms of plastic to work with. They're using the baked stone and everything for the kilns. And they've even come up with electricity and made it sustainable without manpower using the water wheel. Tell us the brilliant thing about the water wheel.
Senku wasn't even the one that did that. Chrome did.
Yeah. He saw everything that Senku had done up to that point in time, And he was like, you know what? If we just have the water do the cranking for us instead of the manpower, Senku was so impressed. And they're just going through one thing after another. They're making different chemicals. They're making different electrical advances.
Yeah.
They're so on and so forth. And Gen is thoroughly impressed when he sees Senku light up with electricity the first time. And he makes a special request to Senku.
He just wants a cola.
Yeah.
That's all a man wants. He just wants his cola so much.
And he is willing to more or less betray the Tsukasa Empire.
He will do anything.
It's more than that, because he actually
Yes.
sees the type of guy that Senku is versus
yeah.
the type of guy Tsukasa is. Any other of the inventions you want to talk about? What was your favorite thing that was created?
Besides the cola?
Yeah.
Because I was like, listen, I've never made cola, but there's got to be, like, this is impossible. You're high schoolers in, like, a Stone Age world. No, he did it. Honestly, when they started making glass, as simple of an, quote-unquote, simple of an invention as that is, I knew they were just going to go all the way. Glass is, like, very, very important as far as everything they're trying to do, trying to make the pills, trying to make the glasses. Like,
Kaseki comes through huge with them.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the village master craftsman. And every single time Senku's introducing something new that he can do work with, man, that old man gets so excited.
Get excited, man.
Yeah. I just want to tangent on him for a moment. I know this isn't an item, but this is a person I'm tangent on.
He's worth it.
He loves the bond that Senku and Chrome have. He sees them high five at a certain point, and he's like, can I do that with you? And he has that moment of real connection because they call him their brother. They call him their friend. After he mentions to them, man, I wish that I had someone growing up with. I wish I had someone like that. And Chrome just simply says, you do.
It
And
was
he's
so
like,
great.
Ooh, it's like, it's us.
It was so great. It's because he's so much older than them. Like, he's an old man. They're high schoolers. And the fact that he has someone to bond with, like, this is probably the only time in his life that he's found someone like this to bond with.
And that's the moment where I realize Senku's not trying to recreate the world's problems. He's trying to bring the people back, but he's trying to re-implement respect. And that's the part of the equation that Tsukasa isn't seeing.
Severely lacking, you mean?
Yeah, so there's so many things that we're just skimming over.
Yeah, we skipped a lot, which means you guys should go and watch it and then comment and tell us if you liked it or not.
Yeah, throw that comment down there. Tell us what invention you like best from the first season of Dr. Stone, or even from a later season. Go for it. But the first season is so packed, but is fast paced.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Fills in a lot with the world, fills in a lot with the background, makes things explainable, and actually like teaches science. I think my favorite thing about this first season was seeing how excited Autumn got while watching it, because she was learning about some of the stuff as she was watching it. It's really just an excellent show.
It is.
Done really well, and you don't feel like you're watching a 24 episode season. It feels like a 12. It gives you the content of a 30. That's probably the biggest compliment that I can give to it. Anything you have to say?
I mean, you hit it pretty straight on. It was excellent. It was fun to watch. I was learning and relearning things as it was going on. Senku's a fun character. It was good. I can't say anything deeper or better than what you just did.
So once again, we dove into what happened the day of the Apocalyptic event, and we saw how Senku started to bring back the world in the Stone Age. After that, we saw how he made friends with Kohaku, Chrome, and the rest of the village as he formed the Kingdom of Science. Then we saw how he became the village chief and how he won everyone over with the Kingdom of Science. And finally, we talked about some of the creations and inventions that he created and the friends that he made along the way. We hope you had as much fun exploring the first season of Dr. Stone as we have, and consider watching this anime. Bye. So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcast, and hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. And today's show was brought to you by Dubby Energy, a modern approach to energy drinks with no sugar, dyes, or fillers added. Dubby Energy. Be better. and use code ExploringAnime524 for 10% off your order. That's ExploringAnime524, one word, all capital letters, for 10% off your latest Dubby Energy order. Link listed in the show notes.